Okay, so this is a battle report. 2,500 points between Once Bitten 360's Beast Herd Army and my Warriors of the Dark Gods 2,500 point army. And first starting off, my Chaos Lord, Dark Lord, is the Mark of Wrath with the Sword of Strife, Potion of Strength, and Dust Stone on a Crusher. And my BSB, he had the Sword of Strength. He had the helm, dragon helm, shield, and he was mounted on a crusher, so he had a one-up armor save. And he also, I never used it. He actually had a five-up ward save, which I never used. I'm using something I like to call the Crusher Bus, and it consists of five crushers, and then my general and my BSB. Over to the right of that is a unit of warriors of lust, and they have halberd and shield. In front of the warriors of lust, there is a unit of fallen. Over to the right of the warriors, sorry, is a unit of once fallen, once chosen. I'm sorry. They have three wounds apiece. They have two hand weapons. They're strength five because they have the Mark of Wrath, and they hit on twos against most things. And they have the banner of rage, which gives them frenzy, so they have five attacks apiece. In front of the crushers, there's a unit of barbarians, and to the right of the barbarians is a regular old chariot. I've been looking forward to this battle for a long time. Get a rematch, get once bitten. Oh yeah, and by the way, in front of the once fallen, once chosen is a unit of another unit of barbarian horsemen. And to the right of the barbarian horsemen, I believe there's another unit of once uh, of fallen. So at the beginning of the game, I had to deploy my army, and I was thinking about deploying one unit at a time. But then I realized something. I want to go first. I need to go first against his army because I do not want him pushing his fast cavalry or his hounds in my face. And I have to get through the hounds, and then only to get hit in the face with craziness. But over his side, he has a large unit of minotaurs. Next to that is a Gortak. Next to that is another Gortak. He has a chariot, and so he has so much power on that right side. And the only thing I really have is, well, the pain train, and that's what I call it, the pain train. All I have really is the pain train, and I have that unit of uh, once chosen. And at strength five and five attacks, hitting most things on twos, they should be destructive. Um, I told him, that unit was made out of, and you know, his eyes got as big as quarters. But here we go. On his side, he has a unit of longhorns. It looks like it's about 20 to 30 longhorns. I'm not quite sure on the numbers. He has 20 wild horns, and behind that, he has another unit of 20 wild horns. And beside the front wild horn unit is a chariot and a unit of longhorns. That's where his general is at. And he has a BSB there and a banner. So there's a lot of points in that unit. Over and to the left, my left, there's a unit of mongrels with the bows, and this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to deploy my stuff and actually go first because I wanted to get the jump on him before he started moving the mongrels around and getting in the way and causing a bunch of mischief. So he has all of his power on the right of me over here, and I'm not feeling that. I really don't want to get hit with that. And it's a good idea to keep my strength away from him, and his strength is over on my weakness. So, in a way, it's kind of counter what I'm doing. So it looks like it's gonna be like a swirl type combat type situation. Over by the mongrels is his lone character with the bolt thrower like weapon, and this is what the table looks like. And this is what I was talking about. He kept his power away from my power, and but still, those once fallen can be a destructive force if if you go at them the wrong way. Okay, so I get first turn. I move my units up like so. I push my barbarians up on the barbarian horsemen up, and I'm going to throw throwing axes at the unit of mongrels. Maybe I might pick off one or two, maybe not. I also push the another barbarian unit, horseman barbarian unit, up in front of his leftmost block. And I did this because as long as that unit that's behind him can't really get out, that's one less unit I have to worry about throughout the fight. And even though they only have strength 3 and their toughness is 4, I really the less units the better. I'd rather not face his entire army if I don't have to. He pushed his hounds up in the vanguard turn because we figured out that it's pretty much the same way it was before. You roll off and see who vanguards first, and then you alternate. So my plan is to try to stay away from getting hit with both of those Gore-Tax at one time. I think I have enough shaft to do that, but at the same time, I still have to produce enough damage that all the shaft that I'm going to waste trying to get away from that Gore-Tax isn't wasted. In my magic phase, I'm able to get 3 wounds off, and I'm able to get 3 wounds off on his chariot, and hopefully that'll keep that chariot from actually doing anything for at least one turn. I didn't realize he had the lore of the wilderness. I think that is I think it's kind of like the old lore of life, and so he's going to try to regrow wounds throughout the game on certain things, and I'm really not afraid of that lore because the way that I used to just ignore that lore was before is that well, let me explain that later. In his turn, my magic didn't do so hot. I did 3 wounds. In his turn, he charges with his leftmost unit. I flee. They move forward. His unit moves forward. That unit is still kind of capsized in the back. He moves his hounds up right in front of the Forsaken, so they can't really move all that well to get out of the way. That's fine with me. His Minotaur, they failed their frenzy test and they lurched forward 1 inch, and I'm okay with that. I think some of these pictures are out of order, actually. Yeah, they are out of order. Definitely out of order because those giants went from one side of the field to the other. Anyway, we're back to where we were supposed to be. All right, so his unit lurches forward. The hounds are stuck right there in front there, and yeah, like I was saying with the lore of life, what you would do is you would let them cast Throne of Thorns. I think that's what it was called, and then you just dispel all the rest of the spells. So in essence, because Throne only works if other spells are able to be cast. So if you're able to just let Throne go, and then just let them cast and just stop them from casting anything else, Throne is useless. And then you just in your turn you just have to dispel Throne. And Throne is a low cost, low cost, so you can easily dispel it with like 1 or 2 dice. So I let him have Throne and just try to dispel as many spells as possible. Many buffs and spells that he had. He has a lot of bound items, and so it's kind of hard. It's kind of difficult to do that, but at the same time, some of the buffs that he has, they're not going to really affect anything until we get into close combat. And in close combat, I think I shine in close combat over the beast herds, so I'm not really worried about close combat. What I am worried about is getting hit on the flank, falling, getting hit on the flank, and then overran. Then the creature overruns or something. But I don't think that's going to happen because if he does that, then he'll overrun right in front of the ones falling, and I don't think he wants that. So here's how the board looks. Yeah, he with his character in the shooting thing, his character was able to get off 2 wounds on one of my skull crushers. I'm fine with that. The chariot is still there, my chariot, and so I'm really not worried about that. He does stick a, I think that's a unit of hounds right in front of the pain train, and how I'm going to deal with that, I'm just going to have to charge that thing with a chariot. I don't want the pain train to charge that and then have to change its facing. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter, but to make things easier, I'm probably going to end up charging that with a chariot. Here's another look at that. That was that was a good idea. The mongrels were able to plink off. I think it is 3 horsemen, and that's okay because they don't panic. I do have to admit to them though, most of, my units don't have to take panic tests, but they do have to take fear tests. I don't think it really came into play because crushers cause fear, and so they wouldn't have really had to really make fear tests. And I think I did roll leaderships with the warriors, and the once fallen, they're immune to fear. So because they're immune to psych. But yeah, so here's my turn. Turn two. I moved my horses in front of his unit again to slow them down. I did charge the hound unit with the chariot. I tried to charge the main unit, the unit on the left there, with the fallen, and they failed the charge. I think I rolled very, very low. He The unit did. I fled. I think in his turn I did flee with the horses, the 2 horses there. I did flee. I fled away from the marauders. I think it was not the marauders. Who did I flee with? No, I didn't flee. I just moved them. I moved the horses out there in front there to cause more traffic jams to slow his army down. And as long as his army is not moving, and I can move, I'm fine with that. Here's another look at that, closer look. Picture's kind of blurry. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the whole point is just to slow his middle down so I can catch up with it. And eventually, we're going to have a close combat. Eventually, a combat that actually is worth something. And this is how it works with chaos. Usually, it's you 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 maneuver, you move, and then you find the time to hit, and then you strike, and you hit with everything you got. I think it's hounds. I think yeah, I charged with the hounds. I charged the hounds with the fallen, and the funny thing is, I actually left some fallen at home, so not. I didn't want him to look at this guy with this ragtag looking army and stuff. I actually do have the models there at home. I just didn't have the bases painted, so I didn't put them in the box. So, and I didn't have the bases painted for the other one, so it really doesn't matter. But anyway, uh, yeah, they charged in. I killed those hounds. They overran, and they're right there in front of his unit again. So I'm good. That's a good spot for him right there. He's going to have to charge with all units there, all 3 units there. I would really like for those one of those Gortak to fail his frenzy test, but I didn't know this, but I think they're leadership 9 and stubborn, so it's very unlikely they'll fail their frenzy test. Here's another look here on the left side here. So I'll put those horsemen there, so if he does charge the horsemen, they'll be in the front, and he'll actually spin and face his flank towards the crusher bus and the fallen. And I think if the fallen hit him on the flank, they actually can do some damage on their own. I don't really need to send the crushers into them because, the truth be told, I really don't want the crushers involved with that unit. It's a waste of power. The mongrels charged the marauders in the rear, and I decided to flee because It's not because I'm necessarily afraid that the Marauders will fail to actually kill the mongrels. It's the fact that they could get into that close combat, and then there's more stuff in the middle of the field. And I want the field to be clean, so I went ahead and fled, and he fled through. My unit rolled a 12, and so they fled through like 2 units, and both of those units were immune to psych, so didn't really have to roll anything because both of them are both units are frenzied. The Forsaken, the Fallen, and the Once Chosen are both frenzied, so didn't really have to do that. He charges. He does charge with the chariot into the horse unit, and the horse unit flees. They get away, and he destroys the. I think he does destroy the Forsaken, the Fallen, and there's the last Fallen there. No, they don't destroy them all. Surprisingly enough, he didn't destroy them all. There was one left, and he fled. And the good thing is he was able to rally. My other unit was able to rally, and so now we're in a position where I'm in front of his Minotaurs again, and I'm trying to keep for the Once Chosen. I'm trying to keep their arc so they can always see those Gorgons, or what do you call them, Gortak, at all times, because I don't want the Gortak to hit them on the flank, because that would be certain death. All right. And in the magic phase, I believe I actually was able to get a spell off on the main unit to slow them down further. I think I was able to get off a random movement hex on them. I attempted to charge with the chariot and the Fallen against that front unit, and they fled through the other unit and ran out the back. I'm okay with that for right now. Actually, I wasn't okay with that. He was like, I'm okay with that. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah, you're right. I wasn't. Because it slows me down. I'm like, I want to get into close combat early. But at the same time, I'm not sure if he really knows what he wants to do, because he doesn't want to get hit by the bus, the Chaos Lord bus. But problem is that bus has a almost a 400 or 500 point character and another 400 or 500 point character, and then the unit itself is like 400 points. So it's like a 1200 point unit. So it's like almost half of my army in that one unit. So it's kind of like a Death Star. Something like a Death Star. Something like it. So he moves his Gortak around like so. At that point, when he moved around like that, I was like, "Oh no, I see what you're doing. I'm tracking. I'm hoping that unit back there in the back doesn't rally. I think they're actually far enough away from the general not to be able to use his leadership. So if I don't have to fight them at all, that'd be fantastic. I move my warriors back. I arc them back so they can see the Gortak, because I still don't want them to get hit in the flank either, even though there are 20 of them. I didn't want them to get hit on the flank. Not with a Gortak, even though they're strength 5. But he was able to maneuver around. He was able to pass his march test, and he was able to maneuver around. The other one, however, did not pass his march test, and so he's still in the flank there. So here, I want to move that model that's actually in that crater. You really can't see him. I want to move him in front of that Gortak so he can't do anything in the following turn. In his turn, however, he moves his the unit that used to be in the back. He moves him forward, right in front of the Fallen. So now I have to make a decision. I have to charge or be charged with them, and but I have a chariot there. And so impact hits should take me to where I need to be. I'm still toughness 4, decent armor, a good armor save, and so it's actually up to him whether or not the wounds will be able to get through, and it's going to be an uphill battle to get those wounds through. He's still going to need 5s to wound, and then I have armor, so he's still strength 3. He's not modifying any armor. But I'm so afraid of that gore attack, because if that gore attack can hit my guys on the flank there, that's two sorcerers in that unit that I don't want in the close combat at all. And what I need to start doing is actually running those sorcerers with some type of magic weapons or something. But I don't know where I can get the points for that. But anyway, he charged his chariot into the horseman. I went ahead and took the charge because worst case scenario on both of them, you can overrun. You overrun into nothing because nobody's over there. If he overruns with his main unit after going after the horses, then he'll show me his back end, and then I'll just be able to maneuver around and hit him in the back with the skull crushers, or he can turn around and take the skull crusher charge to the face. Either way, he's going to take that skull crusher charge now, because there's not enough shaft on the board left to actually stop me now. Everything is now meat. It's eligible targets for the crushers to hit. Because once those fallen hit that unit, that's gonna give me enough space to get the crushers by to hit his main unit, and that'll be awesome to see that happen. The chariot is going to be on the flank. He did actually hit the chariot with his throwing weapon, and he was able to do 3 wounds against him. I didn't even realize this, but he had a sorcerer back there in the back, just chilling, walking around, casting spells, and I just totally ignored it. Because I knew it, hitting his main unit and destroying that would most definitely get me the game, and I can break the back of the army. And that should be easy with the amount of hitting power that skull, the pain train actually produces. Over here in close combat, he was able to kill the horsemen, and he was able to run them down, kill them. I'm alright with that. They're only like 90 points. And so, baby in the background. And so, yeah, I'm really not afraid of anything he has left on the field. My problem is how many points I've actually bled from him killing Shaft. He killed 90 points of Fallen, and he killed 2 two Marauder Horseman units. So that's almost 300 points. So I gotta get some work done. So I decided to charge the Fallen in, and I decided, even though the chariot only has 1 wound left, I charged him in. I was like, I got a 3-up armor save. He might survive. Actually, it's actually a pretty good chance he could survive. Yeah, and here I think I'm able to get a charge on his main unit. I'm pretty sure I'm able to get the charge on his main unit now, with the fallen. With the pain train. If he moves even 1 inch, I have this. Over here, I attempt to charge the chariot. It was 9 inches to the chariot. It was 9 inches. I think it was 10 inches to the Minotaur. I was thinking if I can get the 9-inch charge on the chariot, then I could actually swing. And it was a long shot, but it was worth it, because if I made the charge, then I can hit the chariot and then overrun off the board possibly. Or even if I don't overrun off the board, at least I will be out of the way of the Minotaurs, and I can save those points. So those guys they're decent. They're like 300 something points. They might be 300 and around 300 points. It might be 270, 300, something like that. And I would like to save those points, but every plan doesn't work to fruition. Something is going to have to die in order for me to kill. So it might as well be chosen, because they were chosen. Yeah. So yeah, that's the unit I want. And he doesn't have any support around it really. That chariot, really not afraid of that chariot. The only support he has is the Minotaurs. And if I can get something in front of the Minotaurs and stop them, then that would help. Over here, he was actually able to get 1 wound through in that chariot, and he killed him. But I was able to get 5 impact hits or something like that, and I was able to do like 2 or 3 wounds with the actual fallen. So yeah, that worked out real well, actually. And I won close combat. They held because he was stubborn on a 10 because his general had the standard of discipline in the unit, and the general's leadership is 9. I was able to put that fallen right there in front of the right there in front of his creature there, his Gortak. Now I wanted to put him in. The original idea was to put him in front of the unit, so if he did charge him, he'd overrun right in front of the right in front of the unit there, the warriors. What I didn't think about when I was placing him, however, was the fact that when you overrun, you do get the wheel if you are going to clip. So, yeah. I was able to get a spell off again, another another hex spell off in a magic phase. So now he has movement D6. So if you're gonna flee away from the crushers, you would only flee 1d6. So that it can work in my favor because if you flee 1d6 and you roll a 1 or 2, you're done if I roll a good roll. And I have movement 8, and I have swift stride. So that would spell doom. If I hit that unit, it would be totally dead. That's why I like the Lore of Lust. Lore of Lust is probably the best lore that the warriors, the dark warriors have now. Dark warriors of the dark gods has. All the rest of them, they're okay. Not really that effective. I do have a ring of fire. I haven't been bit. I don't think I've been actually used it all that many times. Here's a blurry picture. Sorry about that blurry picture. He his guy that runs around with the spear chucks that spear and kills one crusher, and I'm okay with that because the crushers are nothing more than 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 than, than hit points. Over here, he attempts to do a spell, and he was saving his dice for this spell. I had run out of dice and everything, and then he rolls I think altogether it came out. He rolled an 8, a 10 out of 4 dice, and he wasn't able to get the spell in there, and it totally screwed him. But yeah, here's another picture of the guy killing the crusher. And mind you, the crushers only have a 2+ armor save only, but I think it still works. Even though they don't have a 1+ armor save, it still works. I mean, and I used to run this crusher bus back when it was a 1-up armor save, so you can imagine what it used to be. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was bad. But I was able to make the charge. I was able to clip the edge of him. And oh yeah, we're about to make some money up in here. He in his turn he was able to charge the fallen, the once chosen, and he did a bunch of wounds. They were able to do 1 wound against him, and remember he was only hitting 1 on the flank, so he did quite a few wounds to them, and they were only able to do 1 against him. So, what can you do, right? And now they can get hit on the flank by the Minotaurs, and the Minotaurs can overrun into the pain train. Oh man. When that happened, I was like, man, I wish I didn't quit smoking cigarettes because I need one at that point. But anyway, in this close combat, I'm going to have my Chaos Lord and my BSB in there. I think he's got a bunch of guys with either halberds or great weapons. I'm not quite sure what they were, but yeah, you still got a lot of damage output. I mean, he might have gone back to using great weapons. Over here, he was able to overrun after killing the fallen, and he overran right into the face of the. That was in his turn. I should have brought that up. He was able to overrun into the warriors there. Both my sorcerers in there, and my initial reaction was he's gonna start killing my sorcerers. That's gonna suck, right? And in close combat, I was able to actually, while I was in close combat, I was actually able to get a spell off, and it gives them my opponent initiative 0, and the lore tribute actually gave me +1 hit or +3 initiative. And since his unit is initiative 0, there's no point in picking +3 initiative, so I picked one more attack. So now my Chaos Lord has 9 attacks. And I drank a potion at the beginning, potion of strength, so I think he's like at 9 attacks at strength 7 or 8 or something like that. He's retarded. And he went to town. He put some work in and freaking slaughtered like a ton of guys. And then the BSB slaughtered a ton of guys. His general was able to put 1 wound. Well, in close combat, there was a challenge, and he took it with his champion, or it might have been his BSB. No, it was his champion, and my champion beat his champion, and then in his turn, he decides to charge in with the Minotaurs into the flank of the once chosen, and this is what I was afraid of, and I knew it was coming. But I have 1 extra attack. That's what the blast markers are there for. And then he has 0 initiative. And that's what that marker is over there next to his unit. And the Gortak charges in as well. I forgot that he fights over the gap. And he has 1 wound. But he has like a bunch of attacks at strength 6. So this is going to be rough. This is going to be bad. And whenever I play with the herd or whatever, whenever I use the longhorns or what used to be called Bestigor, I would use the great weapons because whatever you hit, you're going to wound on a 2. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're going to be hitting last, but whatever you hit, you're going to destroy it. And while halberds are good, they still sometimes they don't fulfill the role that you actually really need, because if you have a bunch of buffs for the strength for your other units, you really don't need halberds. Now over here in close combat with the Gortak, we decided to do this one first. The Gortak, he decides to attack the unit itself and not attack the sorcerers, and I was like, that's a mistake. That's definitely a mistake. But I didn't say anything because I'm just that type of guy. Over here, yeah, they're gonna get crushed, but I do have like 6 attacks going back at you with the champion, so he's gonna go out fighting. These two are gonna go out fighting. Yeah, this is a slaughter. This is what they're doing to that general's unit is a slaughter, and the bad part about it is the general's at initiative 0, so even if the general does make way over to the champion, my BSB, and because I'm going to continue to challenge with like a champion or a BSB, and I think here is where when the Minotaurs come in, the impact hits happen. I think they kill my champion and a bunch of other guys. They killed my champion and another guy, and some wounds got shifted over. I want to kill the rest of the general's unit, and what ends up happening is the general attacks the Minotaurs, and he kills like 3 of them at the beginning, and I think 1 or 2 of them died to the Forsaken. Might have been 1. 1 died to the Forsaken on the charge when he charged into them. Then another 3 died to the general, so there were like 2 Minotaur left. And then those Minotaur tried to actually hit the general, and the general just like laughed at him. But the funny thing, the messed up part about it was I actually had soul feeder, and I didn't roll for it one time. I could have gotten that wound back, and my general might not have died, and it might have been a different game. But in the BSB, he challenges, and his general accepts, and his general didn't do anything. And so the Minotaurs got eaten. Well, I think there's 1 Minotaur left. If I'm seeing this right, there's 1 Minotaur left, and the main unit got eaten, and 1 unit was given to the Gortak, Over here at the bottom, close combat with the Warriors are able to deal out. Actually, they actually dealt out 5 wounds to the Gortak, four more wounds on top of the one that was already there, and then he was able to generate one back. And he threw 3 attacks at my BSB. It might have been he threw 3 attacks at my sorcerer, and he whiffed with almost all but one. He was able to get one wound through, and my sorcerer actually, I think that sorcerer didn't have. Yeah, that sorcerer actually had armor of some type. I didn't roll for it, but that's okay. I took the wounds. Over here in close combat with the fallen, they did they did some damage, and I'm kind of proud of those guys because I only got it for 90 points, and I'm not sure on how many points that gore unit is, but I'm proud they're actually there. There's 3 dudes just taking it on. Let's just go into town. Reminds me of like Space Marines or something. The Warriors are able to deal out 3 wounds to him after he sucked up that one wound. So he's down to like 2 more wounds left. Either way, that Gore-Tech is going to die. It's just that one of my sorcerers are going to die before he goes out. In my close combat, this is my turn again. My close combat, I was able to kill all but one of the wild horns. Yep. And so this game came down to the wire. I was able to get these wounds through. He killed one of my sorcerers, but the only thing was when he killed the sorcerer, he allowed a warrior to step up in his place at strength 5, so it gave me an extra 2 attacks. With that, I think I was cheating myself on how many attacks I was getting from the back rank, but that doesn't matter. The Gortak is still dead. Yeah. In this close combat, General's going to swing into the main unit, and I think I'm going to go ahead and swing the actual Juggernaut is going to swing at the Minotaur himself. Well, I don't think that no, the Juggernaut is going to swing at the Gortak, and the General is going to swing at the main unit, and because I need to kill that unit, so he won't be able to do anything. The BSB, my BSB actually kills his general, and he was pissed at that. He was mad. His general was able to drop 4 wounds onto me because he was actually able to get that spell. My usual spell didn't work. He was actually able to drop 4 wounds on me, and then the BSB just like rubbed this, like just wiped it off his shoulders like Jay-Z. It was messed up. Oh man, he was pissed. He was pissed. I was waiting on him to kick a chair, but he didn't do it. I was like, damn it, kick a chair. Just one. Just kick it. It's okay. Just kick the chair. I would. His Gore-Tech was able to put a wound through, and that's where it would have mattered. See, if I was actually using Soul Feeder, I wouldn't have any wounds on me at all, except for that one that Gore-Tech put on me. Everything broke. Once the general broke, everything broke. The leadership dropped down dramatically. The leadership 4 on the Minotaurs, they broke. He ran. I think he ran through a sorcerer. The sorcerer freaked out. He ran. The BSB ran and left his banner behind. The chariot's down there. I think his chariot's actually facing in such a way he can actually hit me on the flank with his chariot. Sorry. Yep, here we go here. See, I wouldn't have had those 2 wounds. I would have had 1 wound. If he charges into the once fallen, he's going to be able to kill them, and then that's going to be the end of his turn. He wants to, and this is turn 6, so he really needs to do some damage here, and he's going to throw his last remaining unit into. I would throw it into the general's unit, just in case I whiff or something against that Gore-Tech or against the main unit or whatever. And that was the hard decision. Like, if he charges me in the rear, should I go after the unit or should I go after the Gore-Tech? And so I decided to go after. When he did this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go after the Gore-Tech because I'm not gonna kill enough guys out of that unit in order for them to break. They're gonna be steadfast, And now that I think back, they're going to be steadfast in the 7. So there's a good chance that they might have actually fled. There's no general around. The BSB has fled. He did charge his chariot into the flank of the BSB. Not really afraid of that. I mean, his strength 4 impact hits. You know, whatever. I got a 1-up armor save. I don't care. I should save that on a 2. And I wish there was. He attempts to charge with his guy that runs around with the spear, and I was like, man, he better not charge in there because then I have to challenge, and then he can accept with a champion or something like that, or accept with that guy, and that would take attacks away from me. He did not make the charge. He rolled triple 1s for the charge, so he ain't go nowhere. Yeah, and then they charged into the rear. Forsaken killed that last guy. The impact hits did nothing to the BSB. He flaked it out like Jay Z again. Dude loves some Jay Z. And yeah, this is a very long battle report. This is probably the longest I've ever done. But it was a good game though. There was a lot of stuff going on, and it needs to be long. Um, yeah, I had taken pictures of this on a Samsung phone, and then by the time I got home and tried to do the battle report, I realized that it was too much. It was too much memory taken up to even upload it. So then I decided to save it onto my main computer, and then to save the images to my main computer, and then delete it, and then I ended up erasing the whole battle report on the phone. So I had to go through a different way of doing the battle report, but it was fun though. I had a great time. And you guys need to subscribe and comment. It was a very fun game. Nail biter all from the beginning to the end. But chaos wins. Good luck next time, buddy. I'll be waiting.